But we can't really put that out there because I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Oh, no more spoilers?
Yeah, that's a bad spoiler.
Certain things you can't spoil.
Yeah. You just had to one-up me.
Well, there you have it.
Got
10,
what?
10 in the bag.
Yeah. It's hard to hold out. Don't want to get too excited about it.
First season. Learned a lot. Finally in the present day.
Yeah.
Feels nice.
In fact, we started editing it when we got to this episode. And we get to find out in glorious fashion all of our idiosyncrasies, all of our uhs, all of our likes.
You knows.
Man, if we had as many likes on our shit
Yeah.
as we do in our fucking videos,
We'd
we'd
be
be in
laughing.
real ship shape.
Joe Rogan will be worried.
Yeah, we'd be coming for him.
Yeah.
101 million from Spotify is what we shoot for.
Yeah.
We got the shirts.
Yeah. Finally got some shirts. Double the amount of episodes in Seinfeld's first season, so that feels nice.
Yeah, I guess that is true. That's you can watch that in one Godfather.
Yeah.
For the cinema files.
Yeah. So far,
Cinephiles. Fuck, you can't screw up that. Cinema verite right there.
and we still didn't sell out. Yeah, we're still a couple night guys.
Yeah.
Hated by our version's morning guys.
Yeah, you know what? Don't subscribe.
Yeah. Use the reverse psychology. That'll get them.
Yeah.
Funny enough, the X episode in Seinfeld was actually the first episode of season 2.
I never thought of the X in that way until you mentioned it.
But we're using it as the finale of season 1. And, yeah, I don't know sometimes, but...
One man's eclairs, another man's trash, I guess.
We got an episode coming up right after this.
Oh, spoiler alert.
And many more to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 2 is in full effect.
Yeah. I was going to psych up the death more, but it's of our intro. I don't know sometimes.
Jerry. Got anything else there? Why don't you
I told you, I got nothing.
Why don't you just tell me what you thought about the episode?
What do you mean? What do you want to know?
Still in the present time. I haven't got to see Pearl yet. I don't know if Maxine's out.
Yeah, we've done a great deal of follow-up.
Yeah. You did get to watch one movie out of the trilogy.
It's the beginning, though. At the end of our first season, but the beginning of the trilogy.
No, the middle of the trilogy, because Pearl's a prequel.
You know what? I don't even care. Watch the new season.
Yeah, exactly. Just fast
Or
track.
don't watch it.
Don't
watch
yeah,
it.
Don't even worry about this episode.
But we tried some new stuff coming up.
That's lame.
Got
Got an itch?
I don't know.
Let's talk about
No,
that.
I don't.
Let's talk about that.
There was like an itch out of desperation. It's sinking here.
Filming in front of a live studio audience is not as easy as Jerry makes it out to be.
No, I like it.
He seems to like it. I mean, they. Oh, don't want to get into that.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Just think for a second here. Like, we finished these and we we edited it back
Yeah.
starting at this one. And so that we do have a little bit of hindsight. But I can't really rate them really on the fly like this. I have to look back at them.
Yeah.
Like my gut feeling will come out like a real Edgar.
Yeah.
They don't have to make an intro for this fucking intro. Jesus Christ.
So why don't you lean into that a little? Tell us what brought us here in the first place.
To what point? To see the end.
How'd you do that? You robot?
But we did have that drive to go and do that at a certain point. But, like, really, people wouldn't be that transparent about having that many in the can. You know, they just do it so that they have that kind of thing. And we're really moving into real time now. Like, we didn't take very many weeks off, per se. But
Yeah, and it's been steady. We did the Christmas special gave us 11 episodes, and 11 weeks went really quick.
yeah, when we first started putting it out, you're right. That's the fire under our ass, like with that schedule.
And the saving grace is that there's two of us, so
Yeah.
we only had to edit an episode every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And Phyllis wasn't any help.
yeah, no super producers here.
Yeah. You also got to throw some of your musical skills in there.
Yeah,
If no one realized, that's actually Adam playing guitar on most of the intros.
yeah. So when litigation comes from Bon Jovi,
Yeah, you know who to sue.
yeah, this will be submitted as evidence.
Boy, this is so awkward. I'm still drinking my empty coffee.
Tons of movies still to go.
I don't even know if we're going to keep this in the intro, but it is pretty interesting. That is one of the things that we tried in season 2 is comparing novel to film, which I've never seen, and another review on YubTub or any other podcast related platforms.
Usually you would watch both things, and this was I read the book and you watched the movie, and then we talked about the two and the storylines
Blind
blind.
and figure out just how different they really were. And that was actually mind-blowing how different they were.
And this is really the intro for next week's.
I was just thinking, we're getting that out of the way.
Yeah.
That way we only have to watch, I forget what it is, but I can't hardly wait to watch it.
I'd love to watch the movie and tell you in next week's intro.
No more intros. We're in real time now.
Gone.
Gone. See you later.
Fuck off.
I'm out.
It's fucking bizarro world. Yeah, we're not even on air, see? Now we are. Do we jump right into it? Like, we can start right where it starts, but,
Yeah.
we can Like, what movie starts like this? Like, do we even need to say what we're talking about here?
Up to you.
Because I
got a little background that would precede the film, but we can get to that after if you want.
Yeah, I like this ambiguous start because it's very much like the start of this movie.
Yeah.
With the frame.
I was hooked from the first shot of this film. I thought that was so clever. Changing the aspect ratio by the camera moving out of it was a shed.
Made me really, like, I knew that opening shots were going to be in the discussion for this one.
Yeah.
Like, right away. Like, we watched this one together.
Yeah.
And, like, which isn't the case always with the movies.
Yeah.
But for these ones, I think... Yeah, did we watch every one of these together? The first 10?
Yep. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
The only one that we talked about maybe watching separate we didn't even do.
Yeah.
maybe we'll do that next season. But all the movies that we watched together.
Yeah. Get to experience the opening of this one together.
Yeah. Losing my head.
Yeah, but
opening shots. We've had this same conversation on another episode about opening shots, and because I had deja vu, because as soon as she said opening shots, I was thinking that you're gonna say something about Boogie Nights. I was gonna chirp you about Boogie Nights again because of that opening shot.
Yeah,
but we definitely talked about prolific
nailing it,
and just nailing the opening shot.
Yeah.
And this was definitely that, especially for the grindhousey, 70s, 80s horror that they're trying to replicate.
Yeah, it screams volumes,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
to say, this isn't your average horror film.
Yeah.
And, A24, the studio, or, production studio behind it.
Yeah.
People say that it's like the Marvel of slow burns or something like that.
And they have a lot of names. We went through the A24
a bit of
catalog.
Yeah.
And
Hereditary, I think.
That's the big debate, is what's better, or what people like more, Hereditary or Midsommar. I'm definitely Midsommar, but a lot of people like Hereditary better.
Hereditary was the first one that I saw from Ari Aster. And not that this is an Ari Aster, this is very much a Ti West film, but just speaking in terms of A24. Managed to see a lot of Ari Aster's things there.
Yeah.
You.
Did you know who Ti West was before this?
I look back. I keep looking at this friggin' X. It draws the eye.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing to put in someone's peripheral. This is an exact psychological test here, ophthalmological test. Gonna make our eyes go.
So Ti
what
West.
do I say?
Ti West. You knew about Ti West before this?
Well, looking back at his thing, I saw at least one of his things that he did. No,
I never saw Innkeepers. I never watched VHS.
No.
He did a. I really wanted to bring this up. He did an episode. Blimey! Gonna have to edit this out. This was
Poor Ti West.
Oh man, he
Look,
did.
But we're really doing him a great disservice.
So what he
the
did,
poor guy.
I'm sorry, Ti.
It's probably a Y. No,
it's Ti.
Oh,
but so I got that. I got that right.
Mounting disservice.
Got that right at least.
Sorry,
but so he did a sequel, which I'm sure no one watched because Cabin Fever. The first one was a stinker.
Cabin Fever, was that the one with Ryder Strong?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
So he
stumbled upon nostalgia galore there.
I cannot believe I didn't remember this, and I had to go to the IMDb. He did Innkeepers, which I never watched. VHS, which I never watched. But Connection to Nova Scotia with Ti West is that Ti West also was one of the directors that did a little short in ABCs of Death.
Oh, go away.
M for Miscarriage.
No.
Yeah.
That was one of the things on there?
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, a local successful filmmaker in Jason Eisner. Mm-hmm. Love a lot of his work, especially his recent stuff, because he's working on
your phone away from you, Mike.
Working on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
and I love Dark Side of the Ring.
I know.
And I was blown away when I heard Jason Eisner was on that, and like I remember watching Treevenge.
I know,
in school.
such a like can't really spoil it, but yeah, it's like a great. It's
No, we're not going to spoil that. That's what we're not going to spoil is Treevenge.
Well, there's probably gonna be. You can't act like nobody'll hear it.
Yeah.
Because even if like there's, I don't know how widespread like its release was really. Like we got to see it in film school.
He did Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah.
Which actually was submitted to Tarantino and Rodriguez as a trailer that they won a competition, so they were at the start of Planet Terror. And then they got the money to do the feature. Now he's doing Dark Side of the Ring. But then also what we got out of that was Tim Dunn.
Yeah. Which is a crazy connection. Like,
and
hearing stories from him and things like that.
I've worked with him
thrilling
countless times on stuff that didn't really come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
And I really can't wait to work with that guy, man.
I know.
Because he is one hell of a talent. Such a character face. Most of you won't know who this is, but he's a local actor, and he's a beaut. And he deserves that little shout out. But back to the film.
Yeah.
This one? Ti West.
That's our whole segue from A24. Not to mention Robert Eggers from there that did The Lighthouse and stuff. Like, that's also
very
local.
True.
And
very true.
You can find it anywhere. Every book I read mentions Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Peaky Blinders mentioned Halifax, Nova Scotia.
We're like a deep cut everywhere else.
Yeah.
We're gonna hit him with the Nova Scotia reference on this one. We're gonna end up on the banks of Nova Scotia, man.
Hit us up, A24.
Yeah,
we're looking at you.
Oh, I got some slow burns written.
Yeah, exactly. You like a slow burn?
Yeah.
Okay. So we meet the main character, Maxine, played by Mia Goth. She's got the cocaine going.
Yeah.
She's got Christina Ricci vibes. In my eyes, anyways. I felt that.
For a new generation.
She has a very, new age, like the new...
She's been around for a while,
the Christina Ricci of this generation. But I won't get caught up on that. The fact she caught me right away with the look of... She's got no eyebrows.
No. But
and she has this circle of freckles around one eye.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember me and you...
Do we look her up?
I think that's mud.
Do we look her up to see if that's her...
No, it's not.
This is for the movie, right?
It's for the movie.
Yeah, all right. You never know with a horror movie.
But right off the bat, I was saying... man, she looks familiar. Yeah. Where have I seen her?
Yeah.
And she was in the trailer that we watched right before watching the movie. We watched the trailer for Suspiria.
Oh, yeah.
And she's in that.
That's right.
So this isn't like one of her first films. I'm not quite sure what else she's done. But she plays two characters in this film.
Oh, well.
And
I guess
she's got a lot of work ahead of her. But we'll talk about that later on in the episode.
Yeah.
So we start meeting the characters. It's very Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost, to the T of this group. In the back of a Scooby-Doo van.
Yeah, vanning in from out of town to shoot this...
Kid Cudi rolling this...
Shoot this horror film.
I was actually, excited that Kid Cudi was in it. I was like, all right, I want to see how Kid Cudi can act. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Like Kid Cudi was fucking huge. Probably, I remember, it was like, I was like 18, 19 or something like that, and Kid Cudi was the shit. And I actually went to a Steve Aoki concert.
Oh.
Who did the like electric version of
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Come on.
It's cool to see familiar faces. The guy from The Ring is in it.
Yeah.
He's the producer.
Yeah.
You started putting the it's a small crew.
Yeah,
we
skeleton crew.
Yeah, we can definitely warm up to that, relate a little bit. They have the classic gotta stop at a store scene.
Yeah, stop in, meet a couple of the
gas station.
Yeah.
See some of the locals.
See who knows everyone.
Kind of getting stared up and stuff like that. They can, you're sticking out like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
They know you're not local. And then they had the billboard, kind of like California, but this was not a billboard, but what do you call it? Like a cork board with all the
a bulletin board
with all the different tags on it and business cards and all that.
Yeah, so just like in California.
Precisely.
Wearing its California on its
sleeve. But we all saw the same thing, because we can't leave out that we watched this with a future guest, Joey LaViolette.
Yeah. We gave him a tryout watch with.
Yeah, and he passed with flying colors.
Not that we're replacing Phyllis.
Yeah.
But
you never know.
We have to give her a night off.
Well, she's getting T-shirts.
Yeah.
We're not getting any T-shirts out of this stuff.
Her kids got karate that night.
Yeah. She did a couple cameos, and now she's ruling the roost.
Yeah.
But maybe if you buy a couple Phyllis T-shirts, we could afford to get ourselves our own.
Yeah, please, everybody.
Yeah.
Visit us on the socials.
Yeah. Phyllis isn't very good at marketing herself.
No, nor am I. Perhaps worse than Phyllis.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it was funny that when we saw this bulletin board, both of our eyes, I think Joey just kind of glazed over. I can't remember what he said about it, but we both saw
immediately under the bus after we tell him he passed with flying colors in the very next sentence about it. Well,
one deduction. He had one deduction.
Yeah.
But what did both our eyes see? You remember?
For rent.
Dirt for sale.
Dirt for sale. Yeah.
Maxine, this character, she maybe is in a drug-induced fantasy, but she's kind of, it looks like that at the start. She's looking at the mirror and she's like, I am a sex symbol.
Yeah.
She wants to be a star. She has it in her eyes.
Yeah. It's an interesting way to, you've seen that before a lot with Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Whose opening scene we won't talk about.
Not again. Not like this. Not like this.
I'm just kidding.
1979. So Coke isn't even popular yet. It's not even the Coke-infused 80s.
Yeah, that's right 1 year away.
That. Yeah, exactly.
They haven't missed the boat. Yeah. It just hasn't made it there yet.
Yeah, exactly. The blonde from she's in Tucker Must Die or something. Sean Tucker or Chris Tucker Must Die.
Oh man,
she's talking about tanning her titties and stuff like that. So it makes her seem like she's, a bimbo and unintelligent. You think that she's just a porn star.
You know what?
Spoiler that this is I don't know if they talked about it yet, but this is a porn crew shooting an adult film.
Yeah.
But then when they go to get the first shot, the director is filming Kid Cudi pumping his gas, and the blonde.
Watch your language. This is a movie about
pumping his own gas. And the blonde comes over and says, she comes up with a really clever shot.
Yeah.
And, so that kind of shows her true character, that she's actually quite advanced in, not just her line of work, but the ins and outs of the industry itself.
Yeah.
And, actually, the filming and stuff, which I found a very interesting characteristic to add.
Yeah. But her shot sucked, right? It was right below the ball sack.
No,
looking up.
It was perfect. His shot was whack. It was perfect symbolism of getting that perfect shot, so it looked like he was pumping out of his dick into the car. So, and then Sexy Eyes comes on. This Sexy Eyes by Dr. Hook.
Oh, right. Dr. Hook. I forgot.
I really like Dr. Hook. This is a song from Dr. Hook once they went a little mainstream in disco.
Yeah, this is the only guy I know that's written in several online forums requesting Dr. Hook come to...
That'd be that's bucket list.
Yeah.
Even though they all broke up and it's just the one guy. Rest in peace, Ray Sawyer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. That was just a couple of years ago, too. Yeah.
Too soon, man. Too soon. But that's the second song that I really like, because Summertime by Mungo Jerry was in the scene when they bring up the year, 1979. And I love that song.
Yeah.
And that's really a... put you in the time.
Yeah, was that a
because
drone
it says,
shot?
Have a drink, have a drive.
Drone shot back in the 70s that they had there?
Helicopter. They used to do it in the helicopter back then. But, we'll probably be bringing this on as we go, but they really had a great soundtrack in this. And, we're both suckers for soundtracks.
Yeah.
So they had some great...
I'm glad you remembered, because can't remember if there's anything that super moved my needle, that really took me by surprise, but there might be.
Yeah. So they are driving to the location, but not before they see a cow that's just been mutilated by a truck. So it gives you that first shot of gore, without any violence having to even be shown. But it just kind of gives you that look. So they're driving to the location, but
they're probably have already have seen it, I guess. Because, with the spoilers mixed in already.
Yeah, we're going to edit
it's not going to be worth it to have gone back already.
We'll edit all this out.
No, we won't.
So, once they go, they leave the gas station. They're driving to the location, but not before they see a mutilated cow on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Which was pretty graphic. What do you think,
Was there
what was the intention?
There was maggots and stuff on it. Was it that kind of thing?
Yeah, you get it. It looked hot. It looked like it was out there in the heat. There was bugs and probably picked up by a vulture or something. And it was clever to just that way of not even having to show violence, because it wouldn't make sense in the story yet. But
there was other cows in this movie as well.
Gruesome gore. Probably.
No, there was. I remember a huge field of them as well.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know if it was back in that point.
Yeah, it's kind of Mississippi, backwood, farmland, swampland kind of. And as they're pulling up, they have a lot of voyeuristic shots. They're pulling up and they meet the old man.
Yeah.
And they see the wife in the window. And that's a very cool flip of these voyeuristic shots and then you see a character. Then you see a character that is watching.
Mm-hmm.
You see the voyeurism from both sides. It's one of those things where obviously the renter didn't think that that many of the people were going to be in this. Gotcha. Okay, you start us off.
You were talking about one of the... They're headed to clearly an Airbnb of some sort of the 70s.
Yeah.
Which...
I don't know how you'd find. Probably on one of those billboards.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
bulletin
like...
boards.
Doesn't seem like you'd be easily... Oh, did they find it on the bill? That's...
No, I think they were already in pursuit of this place.
Yeah. How did they hear? I gotta plug my computer in. One sec. Poopsie. Okay, so we're meeting this guy and his wife. You're getting these reverse voyeuristic views.
Yeah.
And did they? It wasn't on the billboard. Just dirt was on the
bulletin
billboard.
board. No, I think. Yeah, you were just looking at the bulletin board.
So caught up in the dirt.
Yeah.
I don't even know what we were meant to focus on.
They were already on the way there.
Yeah.
They're in pursuit.
Found it on.
It was one of these prior agreements that the owner didn't know that this many people was showing up to this barn, and they're just renting this little barn area.
Yeah.
But it does have beds.
Yeah.
And he just kind of talks them into letting them hang out and stuff like that. And then, did they get right to work? I don't think there's any...
time is money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much.
I'm trying to remember...
They kind of start things off on a bad foot.
Yeah.
Because the sound of some of their activities is making its way out. Because he starts to take a little bit of notice and become suspicious right away, no?
Yeah.
Some of this stuff.
It's the scene where it's kind of doing this farmer's daughter.
Yeah.
Where Kid Cudi shows up at the door and the dad's not home, but you can come inside. Like those really cheesy...
Classic porn.
Classic porn lines.
Yeah.
And this is all before Maxine sneaks off into the old... and meets the old lady.
The old man might give him guff before that, because that dude pays him extra money.
Yeah.
And he, in no uncertain terms, says, I don't like any of you.
Yeah.
Think you suck pretty bad. And I wish you weren't here.
Yeah.
And see you later or something, because then he goes away for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Lets them do their thing.
And the thing they do.
Yeah. But it's before... So after they have their first shot, Maxine sneaks off.
Yeah.
Or is just wandering around. Oh, no. She goes swimming.
Yeah.
And establish the gator.
Oh, yeah. The gator comes and almost eats her ass.
And she's very, like... everything's almost happening around her.
Yeah.
And, she's just waiting for a big moment. She's not, You even saw her going over lines and stuff like that. Like she really, thinks a lot of this.
Yeah.
Without seeing the sinful side of things. She's just looking at it as this is her way to start him. But then she sneaks off, and you see the old lady whose name is Pearl for the first time. And it's pretty
uncanny.
It's not only that, but right away you could see that it's someone wearing that is not an old lady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the spoiler that we dropped at the beginning.
That she plays two characters.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what stuck in my head. Where I was like, we already fucked our audience. Like, you just gotta tell them up front.
Disclaimer. They already would have got the disclaimer.
Yeah. But you know what? I didn't spoil it for myself. I didn't look up to see if she played two characters.
Neither did I.
I just assumed right up to this moment.
So
that uncanny.
Yeah, they share some lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to know a bit about Pearl. She's acting nice, and Maxine's sweet, but she gives her a quick got your belly.
Yeah.
And she's not liking that, so she exits.
Uh-huh.
And that's what it was, is that they had a cool scene where it's she's drinking lemonade with Pearl.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Kid Cudi and Blondie drinking lemonade in the porn scene. So it's them
lemonade
having this
for
conversation
everyone
while it's going in, and they're cutting back and forth.
Yeah.
And then the husband starts coming, Howard. So Maxine sneaks out. And then it goes almost right away to her scene where she's like the maids a milking. She's one of the 7.
Yeah.
And Kid Cudi gets with her too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got the bandana,
right,
which has also been in another episode, because I think the wife in Romeo's Bleeding kind of had the you can do it lady look.
Oh yeah, that's right. Can I just give one quick aside here?
Please, I hate taking over.
No, well, you know what? You're still setting the scene here for kind of what's going on. And we're not like going to drone, like there's going to eventually be a fast forward kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
But like this is all like, it's a slow burn. So this is all the establishing of it. So like just looking at this, but like the cow, like they do show definitely before this point, like the bunch of cows.
Yeah.
But I was thinking they might.
This is where the cows come back in, because she's milking a cow.
But, like the one that was away from it was the one that wasn't safe. It showed that all the other ones were safe, I think, like when together or whatever. Yeah. It's probably stupid.
No. It's classic horror is, don't stray away from the herd.
Yeah.
Is it a herd?
Yeah, like that's like one of the tropes,
is a group
right?
Of cows a herd?
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, her scene, but when she's going through the scene, and like I said, she has that kind of 1 foot out of reality kind of,
ethereal, I don't know.
So she looks out, and it's the old lady watching. Out the window, but I don't think the old lady leaves the house. I think it's in her head. Like already this Pearl character
got her teeth sunk in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I was thinking the same thing.
And it gets dreamy, and you don't know where this movie's gonna go at that point.
Especially if that happens after like the gator thing. Like she keeps like, as she does like throughout this thing, like dodging the axes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Yeah, I was wondering about the lemonade because like that's like the first real connection they have.
Yeah.
And with these two, like you like right down to the uncanny thing, like you feel a connection because it's deeper because
Yeah.
it's the same person is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know. You're
Is
looking
like-
into the same eyes
like-
twice.
Yeah, like the hook is in that uncanniness in a way. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think so.
Yeah.
Because like right away it seemed like you feel it, which is cool, like a cool thing.
Yeah. And
Lemonade is kind of like
yeah.
a ritual almost, like it feels like
and it's actually funny that you bring that up, because that didn't, you just unlocked something looking back, because very much so Pearl feels like she's looking into a mirror when she sees this character.
mm-hmm.
And that plays on throughout the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think about the connection through that. So
Yeah, I
that
was
is
just
pretty
like
cool.
thinking about where it started.
Yeah.
Because like in retrospect, like the way that their relationship progresses in this night. I forget how long the time span of the movie.
No, it is over 24 hours.
Yeah.
It is one night, because then it goes to they got their scenes in.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just hang out and vibe a bit.
Yeah.
And
The fun and games.
Yeah, Blondie shows a little bit more of her skill set as she's singing insert great 70s 80s song.
You can say the
Landslide
name
by
of the
Fleetwood
song.
Mac.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I said Sexy Eyes. And
Sorry,
I was giving it,
we're so precautious. I was like,
Man, you're not worried.
they're gonna.
Did you pop your top?
Yeah, it was.
It's
The
not
steam was having trouble rising out
it's
of
not
my
a
coffee.
muffin guy. You're just drinking a stump now.
Yeah,
Gotta love a good Seinfeld reference. I'll never pass it up. So they're getting a little silly and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this Lorraine character, which we didn't give any establish until now, is kind of like in the shadows, girlfriend of the director, helping out. She's like holding the microphone.
Yeah.
But Maxine, back in the gas station, talks about how she's always staring.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of discomfort with her, and and she's staring at Maxine again, and Maxine calls her out, and that breaks it into a conversation about how the producer feels about his somewhat girlfriend Maxine being in a scene like that, and love and lust, and how they're connected and disconnected, and then decides that she wants to do a scene, which the director even says, like, did you guys put her up to this? Like, it's a big joke.
Like this is friggin' foolishness right now.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think like it was more revenge to the director, or pure curiosity, or like where did that come from?
You know what? I'm not really sure. Like, maybe she just, like, normally there's the innocent person maybe in a horror movie, and you expect them to stay that way. And then, to be able to turn that on the top, I think maybe it has something to do with that. Like, it was definitely an excellent direction, and it worked super well for it.
Yeah.
But, for her to, like, I guess that is like even in Friday the 13th or something, like maybe they're all fucking each other over or something.
They definitely wanted to accentuate that weird, like, not so much Friday the 13th, I don't think, or not so much Nightmare on Elm Street, but definitely Friday the 13th movies. There's always sex involved.
You know what?
And I think it's like a psychological thing, you know, the audience, it's like a weird mix of emotions when you're
Yeah.
having them watching softcore
Well,
sex, and then all of a sudden people are getting machetes put through them and stuff like that.
yeah,
through the
yeah.
bed, and,
Oh, yeah. As soon as you get bad,
yeah.
doing
People
bad
feel,
stuff.
yeah, it makes them feel weird and uneasy.
But also, like, this movie, like, definitely has this thorough line of, like, people getting really horny
Yeah.
because of being around the porn and stuff.
Yeah.
So that happens, like, to her.
Yeah.
So she's falling under the spell. Like, the movie's probably more about, like, falling under the spell of porn or something like
Yeah,
that. If
exactly.
you're around it or you
Yeah.
see it, you know, like, you're gonna want to, like, watch it or be involved in the activity
Yeah.
somehow. And
Pearl's all hot and horny, but it's already established that Howard can't get it up because it's like, you know, almost like a parallel with one of the skit ideas. It's like, you
Yeah.
pop one more boner, Howard, and you're dead.
yeah,
You're dead.
yeah.
And she's like, and obviously this is probably like, I think I made this comment, is that this whole movie is like how the vibrator was made.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Like,
this
people are
batshit
pent up.
old lady
Yeah.
just wants to get a fix,
Mm-hmm.
and the husband can't give it to her.
Yeah.
And all this stuff's happening in their
and
backyard.
that's probably the same thing that's happening with that girl who
Mm.
decides to do the porn. Like, the director isn't doing it for her.
Yeah.
But Kid Cudi, you know,
Oh, yeah.
wouldn't mind, in her opinion.
Oh yeah. we saw that silhouette.
Yeah, I know.
So Lorraine wants to join in the fun, and it was like, you know, it's ritualistic in a sense that they're all like, you know, before it was art and it was business, but this is just people watching people fuck while it's the ultimate cuck situation.
Yeah.
Where not only does he watch it, but he's filming while there's other people around watching.
Yeah.
And
Who did sound for that part?
I think that was a silent film. And, you know, his whole life is turned upside down. He has the classic crying, washing the sins away in the shower.
Oh, yeah, he does get quite histrionic with
Yeah.
it, no?
Can't look her in the eyes. Goes for a walk. Meets Pearl.
Out when he's sad dog?
Pearl can't even woo him in his most vulnerable state.
No.
And he pays for it big time.
Oh, yes.
As what song
She gave-
plays?
Don't Fear the Reaper.
Don't Fear the Reaper.
And she gives him the poke.
Both songs, Sexy Eyes. And we talked, and Sexy Eyes and Summertime, Mungo Jerry, were score. Where Landslide was actually being sung by a character.
A performance, a live performance in the movie.
Don't Fear the Reaper was playing on the radio. And there, you know, you got the like beautiful cinematography of the headlights shining on them as she's trying to get with them.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, what happens next?
She gives him the old, he's a callback to I Saw the Devil.
One stab's never enough.
No, like, once she got going,
Mm.
I mean, you know, momentum, all that kind of stuff. Like, she found it, I'm going to say thrilling.
Yeah.
She was right
Oh.
into it.
Oh, yeah. But do you think it's like a penetration thing?
Could be, very well, yeah.
Like there's definitely a parallel in there.
Well, that's exactly the point where, like, I start wondering, like, is this... Because, like, is she a serial killer?
Yeah.
Like, if people are renting this place or whatever, like, is she killing them all? Is that, like, the idea?
Well, that's the thing, is that soon enough, after the Lorraine, the girlfriend, goes missing. Or no. The director goes missing, so Lorraine is worried and goes looking for him. And she ends up sneaking around the house.
Yeah.
And Howard locks her downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when there's a guy hanging there.
Yeah.
And it looks a lot like the boyfriend. But later on you find out it wasn't the boyfriend. So
yeah, but I feel like could we have forgotten somebody who come with them that got lost like a little bit earlier?
No.
Because is this a previous person? Because
But I feel like that is the tie-in to this isn't a first-time thing. I think this is the answer to your question of her being a serial killer or not.
Yeah, but don't you feel like...
And he was hanging with his wangin' out.
But you're right. No, all of this is right. But is this happening... Because, like... kind of in a word spiral there. But what I'm trying to say is it being pent up that got her to do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it seems like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Not to use like to pile on another goddamn cliche, but you know what I mean? Like,
as far as Ti West is concerned, there's a whole other movie worth of pent up that got her to this situation.
oh yeah, shout out to Pearl. There's a third one already, Maxine.
I know.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Shit this week.
That's what I was saying.
Oh my god. We're like
Maya Goth. I'm sorry that I don't have the correct pronunciation.
We're gonna spoil Pearl and Maxine on this podcast.
Oh yeah. Her and Ti West are putting some work in the future years.
Yeah.
And I'm in, personally.
Yeah.
So Kid Cudi's up next.
Yeah.
He's the next cow to stray from the herd.
Yeah.
And once again goes stomping right up to the house.
You know what I love so much about his is he's wake up, you know, feeling like he needs to walk around, stretch his legs, and all three of them, and so anyway, he's milling about, you know, he's getting some alone time. He's got his bottle in the desert scene here. And he opens up the door or something happens and the old guy is out there.
Oh yeah.
You know, 1,000-mile stare at him.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, like, what's going on? Have you seen my wife? You know, she's off dancing in the headlights still.
Yeah, which was something we didn't mention, but a very eerie shot.
Yeah. Don't even talk about like the nicest shots and things. Just skip right over.
And I think the first song that was like composed, it wasn't like a well-known song like every other track that was played so far. Almost very elegant, soft, like ballerina type music as she's dancing in the headlights over the dead body. Kid Cudi thinks that his nom status is going to help him out with this old guy. Buy him some good fortune.
Yeah, build rapport.
Yeah, but as they're looking around...
But everyone loves him anyway, you know, he builds rapport with everyone.
Yeah, but that, falls short because he's the next to go.
Yeah, but, this is what I meant to say is, like, I loved his, like, oh, yeah, let me come and help you attitude.
Yeah.
Just, like, the way it came off in this movie was just so, it was just hilarious in that moment. It felt like he was...
And he's so grouchy, the old guy. So it seemed out of character.
Yeah. He's like, whatever, just let me... He's so genuine.
Yeah. Right before Kid Cudi gets shot by Howard... Howard talks about how, this isn't the first time that this has happened.
Yeah. Bohemian. A young bohemian come with a certain swagger.
Yeah.
And you know what
was
happened?
trancing around.
Yeah.
And and then it cuts to, because Lorraine has now been trapped in the basement.
Yeah. The classic backyard angled kind of. Or should
shelter,
be more down here.
bomb shelter.
Yeah.
Reminds me of
Wizard of Oz. Is that what they blow out of?
Start of
it's in a lot of horror movies and stuff.
is it the start of Twister? Or no, it's the start of maybe Deep Impact.
Lake Placid.
Well, that's coming up too.
Yeah.
Because two things that we didn't discuss yet was the producer getting marved.
Yeah.
Which I think already happened before Cuddy got.
Yeah. He was coaxed into helping.
Yeah, and they, because he was the first to go searching for the director.
Yeah.
With Lorraine. And he was in the barn, and, they really made a meal out of that nail. Like, you saw him walking from, 20 yards away.
Yeah.
Out of focus, walking closer and closer to the nail.
Yeah. Good squish sound effect.
Yeah, one of those
painful
those things that you feel. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's those perfectly lined up holes in the
well, he's still got to go through the torture of pulling it the fuck out of his foot.
Yeah. So she's setting up booby traps too.
Yeah.
Because then he sees these little tiny glory holes on the side of the barn, and he goes to look through them, and it's the classic, the light shining through onto his eye as he's looking.
No good can come of this.
Yeah. And then you find out why the holes are so unison when a pitchfork comes through and penetrates his eye, again with the penetration.
Yeah.
I think every pearl death is penetration by sharp object.
Yeah, something vaguely Freudian in all of that.
Yeah, and also going back to the voyeurism that we were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah.
Him the peephole shot. That's what it was, the classic peephole shot. I'm trying to think if this was before the crocodile scene with Blondie.
Yeah.
Because Blondie and it's crazy, it's one of these films where it'd be interesting to...
I'm pretty sure this is before.
Yeah.
Because I think she's still sleeping. Because Kid Cudi leaves her in bed to go out and do all of this stuff to help out the guy.
Yeah, it's only this small confined area, this property. It'd be interesting to see, the different characters and different colors of where their roots are. You know what I mean? Because it is this group, which classic horror, shouldn't leave the herd. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and brings us,
an overmap of it.
Yeah. So at this point, they're dwindling. The characters, they're going pretty quick.
Yeah.
Cuddy's gone. The next to wake up is Blondie.
Mm-hmm. So much potential.
Meets up with the old lady, Pearl.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
In the on the dock. And you know what's coming. You don't know, who's gonna get it, but you assume
Chekhov's gator.
Yeah, that Pearl's, and I wish I knew the gator's name. We did pretty good with
Tonight I
knowing
Dine
people's
on
names,
Blondie.
except for Blondie and director and producer.
I mean, it's objectification is part of this. Calling her Blondie in a horror movie, could be worse.
Yeah.
It's not like it's Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
I mean, great actress and everything,
but not blonde.
Yeah.
So you get that gruesome crocodile scene that was foreshadowed when they were swimming about earlier on, and Very Lake Placid-y.
Yeah.
Lake Placid was a great film. I don't know if Betty White had a name for the crocodile in that.
Chompers.
Chompers.
No, it was probably something...
Cuter.
No, but she's so sassy. It's probably like... Bitch Gnarler.
Yeah. Bitch. Yeah.
No, it's definitely not that.
We gotta copyright that.
God dang. It was kind of like going a tooth gnasher
Yeah.
and tooth grinder.
Yeah.
Is that Thor's guys? His dogs or fuck. I don't want to get in over my head. I could, this was the first Thor movie I think they were in. Like Thor is like a little more forgettable than Ragnarok. This new one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I haven't
Not
seen
intentionally.
Love and Thunder yet.
No.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
No, I haven't even seen it.
Fuck.
I saw that it was for sale on Blu-ray at Sunrise Records.
Oh yeah, it's out.
Might have to retract that. Redact.
Scratch it. Yeah. Redacted. You book it.
When Howard talks about the person that has already been gallivanting there before, it cuts to Lorraine finding the body in the basement.
Yeah, and you can see exactly what Jacob frickin' Tutu here. We can see exactly what he was trouncing around with.
It looked a lot like the director, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think the first time we watched it, also, because there's so many different things happening at once. There's Lorraine, there's Cuddy, and then Pearl, who's already killed off Blondie, and this is when shit gets really intense.
Yeah, but everyone's safe at this point because she's just lying in bed having a cuddle now.
No one else is in the house at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone's dead at this point, minus Lorraine. And
working on.
Pearl sneaks into the room.
Yeah.
Strips down.
Yeah. Skibbity boo.
Nothing on but blood. Nothing but the blood on her hands. Huh? And she gets into bed with her, caressing her body, wiping blood all over, a couple kisses and licks.
Yeah.
It was a very cringy scene.
Yeah.
We already spoiled this.
Half a softie.
Half a chub?
Half a softie.
Yeah.
Soft chub.
Depends on how you look at it, I guess. Obviously, they would have had a double because Maya Goth played Pearl, but they would have used a double in this scene. And it went well. Like, you couldn't really tell that, it'd be off-putting if, the people didn't have the exact facial structure or something, that the prosthetic would look a bit different on someone else.
Did we clarify if that was her?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
I thought that was the big spoiler already, I think.
Oh, yeah, because obviously in Pearl, like the trailer,
yeah,
it's her, right? That's Mia Goth again.
Yeah, and I saw that poster all over New York.
And there's another one now. Did you see a third one announced? Maxine?
Yeah, exactly.
With 3 X's.
But yeah, we'll get to that in a bit, because who did Pearl remind you of in this scene?
237 herself, right?
Yeah.
But, with none of the alluring lead up, just
kind of had that feel. Same cringiness.
Yeah. Same gait to her walk, just something about it, got the same kind of shuffle. Because
you don't really see naked old ladies in films very often.
Not enough.
So, it's funny that we bring up a Shining reference, because Lorraine tries to hears Johnny herself out of the basement, just to get her hand completely demolished when she's reaching for the lock.
Yeah. And whoopsie doodle. But that was like the Shining minute.
Lorraine is kind of your like the Jessie of this film, you could say. You're Jesse. You want to sympathize for her a bit, maybe. She's like the true antagonist or protagonist.
Yeah.
Would you say?
She's like one of the nicest out of the bunch.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
And she.
But she had a little slip up,
Yeah. She was tempted.
Who knows what was going through her head?
Yeah, she was surrounded by sin, tempted to get in there, and now.
Which one did? Oh, hold on.
Everyone else, you kind of feel like they got themselves into this.
Yeah, I'm still trying to piece all this together, but you remember when the lady spied them, right?
Yeah.
Who was actioning up at that moment?
When Pearl was in the window?
Yeah, when she got her...
Yeah, so it was Maxine.
Was it?
It was the scene where she was milking the cows. And Cuddy comes in. And she's riding Cuddy and looks behind her and Pearl's in the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like... And it was one of those... suggestive scenes where you don't really know if it happened or if it was in Maxine's mind. There was a bit of
editing trickery
Vaseline on the lens, we'll say, for that one shot that made it seem like it could have been a little dreamy.
Trey ambiguous.
Yeah.
But what I was just thinking, and I don't know if it would have been like a thing, but like where Lorraine got into it, did she ended up doing her scene? No.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the one, because you would think like it would take that last one doing it in order to set things off.
Yeah, well, it wasn't shown that Pearl was watching that, but so it went from that scene to the director in his crybaby shower scene into running away and then finding Pearl outside.
Right.
So it's one of those things that I think it got so story driven with it was this
caught up in
story.
The drama of it.
It makes you kind of forget about Pearl.
Mm-hmm. That's some of the beauty of
Catches
it, though.
you by surprise, yeah.
The way it ebbs and flows and like that,
Really masterful in that way.
Yeah.
Of course, we get to maybe the cringiest scene of them all is when Howard finally gives into Pearl's temptation.
Yeah.
And risks his own life.
Yeah.
Just to pound that dry pussy.
Yeah. I don't know if he used the old half a popsicle stick wedged in there or what is...
You think he splinted it? Probably had to. Fuck. Maxine is hiding under the bed during this pandemonium, we'll call it.
Yeah, you think it was a really raucous... Oh, I guess it did. How long was that? I think I repressed most of it.
Prosthetics were slapping about. And I think they're still going at it when Maxine kind of sneaks out to the basement.
That distracted.
You have that scene where Lorraine's kind of like, I hate you people. Look what you made me do. Look what you got me into.
Yeah.
Yada, yada. Maxine's like, I'm trying to help you. It sets her free. And just as she's running out of the house, bam, there's Howard with the shotty.
Yeah.
Second time he blasted it off in the past couple minutes.
Everything's coming up, these folks.
Yeah, so like at this point, it's pretty fast paced.
These are who the real protagonists are.
Yeah.
These just good Americans protecting their... in their old age.
I'm telling you, I thought this movie was going to end as just being like the invention of the vibrator. Like none of these people would have had to be killed.
Yeah.
She could just get her nut.
I know. But they say that about everyone, that everybody who's done anything is all pent up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's true.
Yeah. I agree. I've been there.
Yeah.
And, an interesting line Howard says is Paraphrasing, but if the body's inside,
Grand paraphrasing.
It's self-defense if the body's inside.
Yeah.
So
but everybody knows that.
They have an exit plan. Yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
People should know better.
Yeah, and it's funny how it's almost lazy writing, or not lazy writing, but it's overwriting.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do that. It's like lines that they want to say just for the audience's sake because they want to hear it.
But this line was fresh in 79.
But you'd think that, they've already went over this, or
yeah. We're up to date.
You know that they're already, yeah, exactly, up to date. So certain information would have already been passed.
Yeah.
But they bring her in.
Stupid audience.
So the sex doesn't get Howard, but Lorraine wakes back up. So Lorraine isn't dead from the gunshot, and spooks him, and he gets his comeuppance and has a heart attack.
Yeah.
So now it's Maxine and Pearl again, 1-on-1, and
fair game.
Yeah. So it's
ish. Probably doesn't seem like it, but
Maxine runs out to the truck and gets the gun. She has a pistol, and
doesn't she pick it up? You're right. She does pick it up.
I feel like she runs out to the truck or something like that.
Did they show it earlier in it?
Well, Pearl has the shotgun. I think that the producer has a gun in his truck or something, and there's they already lay that clue early on or something. But one thing that we didn't talk about is the church, the preacher
man
on the TV.
Yeah.
That seems like super random.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. And this is when it all comes together, is because,
amen.
Pearl's, calling Maxine a slut and all this kind of stuff. And, kind of telling her everything that she's done wrong. And there's this preacher guy who's talking about sins. And Maxine is saying that, I'm going to be a star. Preacher says. So
she doesn't say star, sex symbol.
At the start of it.
Then she switches a star?
Yeah, I'm going to be a fucking star.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive. And then says, I will not live a life I do not deserve. Almost in sync. It's not perfectly in sync with the preacher, but that's the first connection that there was to this preacher.
She knows it.
Yeah.
She's heard it before.
Yeah. Pulls the trigger. Nothing.
Zilch.
Yeah. And then Pearl. That's the big scene.
The best part of the whole... since the heart attack, the most...
Yeah.
bestest part, for sure.
Almost slapsticky.
Yeah, everybody's got a short list of favorite shotgun blasts.
Yeah.
Usually it's, somebody else that gets shot. So, I don't know how we want to say it here. But
I think, when Pearl shoots the shotgun, she can't even fucking handle it, so it just blows her back. And it's so obviously done on strings. They didn't even try to hide it. I think it was more like homage, again, to these old 70s, 80s horror films, that they wanted to make it look hokey. Yeah. Like in Django with Miss Daisy. He shoots her this way and she goes that way. And it's just, really off-putting.
But it's always the most hilarious ragdoll kind of... I don't know how far, probably 10 feet. Yeah. 12
but it might have been the same rule, because they kind of did the same thing with Lorraine. Because I just found out from my cousin Nathan that Django scene with Miss Daisy, the reason it was an homage to old westerns, because you couldn't see a woman's body on the ground with blood. So if a woman got shot, she'd have to get shot out the room so you didn't see her.
Yeah.
So that's what they did with Miss Daisy, and that's probably what they did in this with Lorraine and Pearl. Same concept.
I guess you gotta abide by 79 rules from the 50s, 40s. What did you say?
What?
Miss Daisy.
Miss Daisy was Django.
Or what you were saying before, where the rules were.
Oh yeah, just like I don't know, like always.
Damn it, we
Probably-
need a year
Yeah, I know.
when these rules started and when they ended. I need to know when I was first able to experience.
Have you ever seen it? I don't know if we've ever seen a close up of a. This might be a Mandela effect situation.
Yeah, you go back, you like write it in, you know, get in there, you get all the way into the production, and then last minute the cameraman turns the camera.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, camera guy, we're gonna need you to get you to shoot the scene. Don't roll on that.
Yeah.
You cut to the side when that happens. First rule of movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess
We know what we can and can't show.
We gotta brush ourselves up on some fucking rules.
Well, we're not perfect.
Find this coffee still hot or what? Phyllis has been pretty quiet this episode. See, she's got a fucking stain on her shirt. Sloppy jalopy. Got stain on that new Phyllis tea. Which, if...
There's going to be millions of them in
if-
circulation one day.
If some of you buy this Phyllis tea, we might even be able to afford to have our own t-shirts.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know how much you sell a Phyllis t-shirt for, but...
Well, I mean, is it worth a pizza pie to you? I mean, cut the crust here and, add tax and shipment, no?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, it's double division, subdivided.
Yeah, and we'll tax it and ship it right to your door.
Yeah. As long as it's under $16.
Yeah. But going back to the strings, so like one thing I love about this film is that they went old school with the effects.
Yeah,
There's no
and
CGI.
like there's huge dangers that come up with that.
Yeah.
Because when you yell cut and there's strings around.
Oh my god, there's the funny. You gotta have one an episode. That was your one.
Line one.
Oh yeah, count it. But yeah, it's refreshing to see a film without CGI.
Was there zero in it? I don't know. I don't know if I can
didn't
call
see
it, but I'm going to assume it because it seems like all the hardest shit was done without it.
I love that style, like grindhousey, 80s. Yeah, it's very reminiscent of when I started watching horror film.
But can I ask you one thing?
Yeah, shoot.
Just about, like, did you find it derivative or mostly homage? Because I'm just going to
Go.
say that you with Stranger Things, I know a little bit of the turn off of it for you was that you thought maybe it was too derivative of this kind of like 80s culture. And,
Well, it was Stranger Things, and I think I should give it another chance. But it was right when it came out.
yeah.
So it was like missing kids on bikes, go try to find them, monster. Even like the monster's very similar to its final form. It was too close.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get into it. But no, I found that this was like not too derivative, very homage-y.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's funny that a lot of these movies that we watch we're finding are just like speculating like a lot of homages.
Yeah.
And there was quite a few in this. Like we've even discussed, like The Shining and Lake Placid, and just the genre of, and even like because of old 80s films, there was always sex.
Yeah.
There's always tits. It was always angsty.
Mm-hmm.
So they really went all out with the making of an adult film.
I know, this would have been real racy in like the early 90s, something like that.
Yeah.
Like this would have been like
B-rated.
a holy grail
Yeah.
to find, like, because that was...
And I bet there is films like this out there that people don't even know about because they would have been such like independent snuff theaters. That's what you'd see. You'd go and watch porn and then one of these films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But in like Freddy and stuff, it was just a taste.
Always Jason, there's a taste. And usually people were getting killed right after having sex.
Yeah.
Even like in the midst of having sex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I remember watching those movies so young that you wouldn't even really think about.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even comprehend the sex parts.
Desensitized so early.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Pet Sematary was one that, I don't want to say scarred me hard, but I remember it.
Yeah.
Super well to this day.
Yeah.
And super young. I was like under 7.
Right. My dad's showing me any given Sunday.
Yeah.
And turning it off or fast forwarding through the locker room scene where they're like sniffing coke off the girls' tits and stuff. Which is funny because that's one of the movies that we might be watching with Joey.
Yeah.
Joey LaViolet, who actually watched X with us and could have possibly been on this scene.
Mm-hmm.
But
with the VCRs when we were young, we had the scramble when you would fast forward past the tits and all the sex scenes and stuff. Yeah. And it was actually the most brutal one for me to sit through. Just with my dad, actually. But it was the Spawn cartoon, I think.
Yeah.
It was like...
Yeah, pretty raunchy.
It was pretty raunchy. Yeah. It was like...
Yeah, and it's
almost
uncomfortable
like
to watch.
Yeah, it was so awkward. It felt like there was just fucking cheese instead of air that you were breathing.
Yeah, that's something that we should maybe save for the end of the episode.
We should have a list that is like the most cringiest movies to watch with your parents as a kid.
That's a good one. You see so many kind of like top 10s on YouTube, but I don't think that's ever been done.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
There's the scene. So the Pearl scene happens.
Yeah.
Gets blown back. She drives over her head twice. Maxine gets away.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, it reminds me of Rose McGowan, a scene in Planet Terror where they probably took the windshield out of the car to get this front-on shot. Yeah.
You gotta respect some guys who would take the ambition to do that.
Amen. Shout out to Phil's Windshields, or whatever his company's called.
Yeah.
Redact.
Yeah, it only took us 1,000,000 years to film the next scene instead of the next day. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. But regardless, so it has that grindhousey, maybe another homage to Robert Rodriguez's latest grindhouse film, Planet Terror. Yeah, I know, guy. And then it cuts to, it goes back to the original scene where we liked the opening shot, and it's the cops going around, and it's 24 hours after. And you see the church preacher on the TV again.
Amen.
And he's talking about his daughter.
Oh, who is she?
Maxine.
What?
So
None in the same, no?
So do you think this was like a Requiem for a Dream where, it's not real? Is it fantasy? Does it go back to that
What's
shot that we were
what
talking to?
is more satisfying than taking a whole journey and then feeling like it never happened? I like that.
Yeah.
I buy that for $1.
She lived one of these lives, this captive life, under the eyes of God, and the she's the preacher's daughter, classic. More or less lived the life of that Blondie was portraying in the porno film. There's something about Maxine. She's always saying she wants to be a star.
Yeah.
It's almost like she doesn't care how deep she has to go. She knows that, she can go
Mulholland
to the very
Drive.
Yeah, go to the very depths of rock bottom, and still, she knows the end game. She knows she's manifesting it.
So does Pearl not want to kill her because, she saw her doing it?
Well, no, it's just the whole thing of...
I mean,
it's
she
funny
connects with her a few times, but...
Mia Goth plays both characters.
Yeah.
But Pearl sees Maxine's character, or she sees herself in Maxine's character.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because she
sees herself in Maxine's character. How about that?
Yeah, and Maxine, which is funny because then now we can talk about... There's a prequel coming out.
Yeah,
and Mia Goth is playing Pearl.
Exactly, when you saw this, because find out about that, right after, seeing it or whatever, after thinking this is going to be a standalone sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's movies that have this kind of, vibe. Where the winner feels like they've inherited something from the movie.
Yeah.
That they've kind of been funneled this way, the whole groomed. Finding out that it has this prequel or whatever right away, does kind of offset sort of what you think about it. Because there's... is it going to be a different vibe to it? A different set of homages? There could be a lot of different things like that. There was the Fear Street movies that came out on Netflix. There's 1966 and 1666. And,
because this was such a timepiece.
But they were all different types of movies as well. Yeah. Different types of horrors.
Yeah. So they're gonna have to do another timepiece of the 50s.
Is Pearl out? Pearl out now?
Not yet.
So we can speculate freely.
Yeah, it's next year. But then there's even, like we were talking about earlier, the sequel coming out where Maxine
has already
a continuation of her story. So hopefully she does become a star.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that they're bookcasing X. So you kind of wonder how, is it something that they're all going to connect? It's not going to be a linear thing, but is there I'm really excited to see the parallels between the prequel and the sequel. Or what Ti West has in store for how almost like a Marvel,
to make this worthwhile,
a Disney level of intertwining all these stories together. And why did Pearl connect to Maxine so much, and what about Maxine's continuation mirrors more of Pearl's backstory? I'm game. I really, after watching X, am totally sold on this trilogy, and I'm excited to see Pearl and then Maxine with a triple X inside of her.
Yeah. Makes me wonder if some other movies will get a sequel or a prequel. Like Hereditary felt like it would have a sequel.
Midsommar?
Midsummer, yeah.
Prequel.
But, it would be kind of more the same with
Mid-spring?
Midsummer.
Would you watch Mid-spring?
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Yeah, it's the quadrilogy of seasons.
Yeah, Ti West. I'm really impressed with this one. Mia Goth, I'm sold on her too. Excited to see more from her.
Hold on, let's give it like some kind of like nod, like if we were gonna recommend it, or like let's say that this might be a movie that you wouldn't be able to talk about with your friends normally. So maybe that's why you're checking this out, or because you're not gonna see it now, but still in your opinion, you have your own, we have our own, but like out of like 1979, what would you give it?
Oh, definitely a 1969.
1969, sure. Right?
Yeah, like I thought it was really good. I've actually been pitching it to people to watch.
Blood will race straight to your head with that kind of review.
Yeah.
Or with that kind of score.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think?
Let's see. Is there anywhere that it would lose points? Like double-edged sword all the way through with that, because homage, derivative, lines are pretty blurry all the way down.
Yeah, exactly what they wanted to get across with this film, they did.
Yeah. It was super faithful, like period piece feeling.
Nothing was overdone.
No, it had...
if it was overdone, it was strategic.
It did take the fucking best of... Not best, like, as of their gags or anything, but... A lot of like the vibe, the best parts of
good score.
Cinematically, the best parts of some of these older movies like Texas Chainsaw or something like that. Jason, shit like that. I've been recommending it as well. And the people that have been checking it out have been like coming back and being like, you recommended this to me, right? And wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
And give it want to give it something different than in 1969. Give it a
69 was a good year, man.
Yeah, I'll give it a 68. 1968.
Okay.
Because sometimes you're like, the 69 Corvette, but the 68 was probably pretty cool too.
Yeah. Corvettes are chick cars.
Yeah. There's probably something I didn't like. Maybe I was in the mood for a long mummified penis and I get an old granny titty and vice versa here and there. That's the way she ebbs and flows.
Saved you a trip to Pornhub.
Yeah, well, for one night at least.
It wasn't coincidence that X is our 10th episode.
No.
So hopefully we'll get picked up for another season.
Yeah.
Phyllis has really held us down throughout the whole season, so I don't know if she's going to come back next year, whether she's going to be in the budget, because she's getting a lot more recognition than we are, that's for sure.
Yeah. Cost her an arm and a leg to be here.
Zing! Alright, do we have time to go through these films right quick before we tell the viewers at home, sing them a good night song?
I'm game.
Okay.
Hit me, baby.
Black Snake Moan.
Oh.
What did you think of this one?
The more I think about it, like, this wasn't so far removed from, like, the Addams Family and stuff. Like, she was still quite young during this.
Yeah. It was almost her, like, coming-of-age film, like that, when you see these characters you grew up with become an adult. Leonardo DiCaprio's to me was Blood Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even in Departed, he was still kind of kiddish.
Mm-hmm.
Where Blood Diamond, he was like a full adult character.
Yeah. South African accent.
Yeah. And I found Mia Goth had Christina Ricci vibes for sure. And Samuel L. Jackson, like, this was a really original concept too. Like, I really dug this film. But he learned how to play guitar just for this.
That's right.
And I love, to this day, I still listen to it, Stacko Lee, the song that he does in the bar.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Really cool song.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty good,
Yeah.
actually. Fuck. I wish I could remember how it goes, actually. I'm going to have to listen to it.
Well, it's like,
I'll be looking that up 100%.
Yeah, I know the words. But it's like, talking about, the bartender gave me a dirty look and a dirty glass. I said, "Hey, motherfucker, do you know who I am?" He said, "Hell nah, I don't give a goddamn."
Yeah, that's very, like, staggerly-ish.
I put 9 of my bullets in his motherfucking chest.
Yeah.
And, like, no one could pull this song off like Samuel L. Jackson did.
Yeah. Nick Cave, staggerly, if you want to hear a song very, like, similar to that.
Yeah. Child's Play. One of the, Chucky definitely goes in the same category as Jason and Freddy. And, for originals, I think Child's Play probably stands up a bit better than some of its competitors. Because it was kind of state of the art. Just got into animatronics. They used doll. They used animatronics, and they used a
Little
midget.
person.
A little person, redact. It stands up well.
Yeah.
Where like Nightmare on Elm Street, for instance.
But
some of the effects are pretty hokey.
And you didn't see the
Stretch
new one.
Armstrong and stuff.
But the concept of it was pretty fresh as well. Like, with all the stuff being like iHome and shit like that. For him to be able to tap into that kind of stuff added a different element to Chucky. So he didn't have to be as, like, he's vaguely supernatural, no? He had some of that kind of stuff going on.
It was like a serial killer.
Yeah.
That read like a demonic scripture that put him in the body of Chucky so he wouldn't die.
Was he the
and then the whole time he's trying to get out?
Was he the one flew over the cuckoo's nest guy before?
Dorff.
Yeah, Brad
Dorff. I know it's a Dorff. And his daughter, this is the last Chucky movie I've seen, is that his daughter actually plays, she's in a wheelchair. It's after Seed of Chucky.
How many Chucky movies you reckon there's been?
I think there's 3 Chuckies, 3 Child's Plays, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, and then probably another 3 after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been way out of the loop.
Almost as much as,
Leprechaun?
Freddy's and, Leprechaun. Child's Play would fuck Leprechaun up.
You stole my riches, you dirty sons of bitches.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah. OG slasher. Right after Halloween.
Jason not even in the motherfucking.
No. But that was some of the charm of it. That's the no kills in First Blood. That's the... I guess Freddy Krueger had quite a bit of Freddy Krueger and Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. But, no, it was well done. It's kind of, definitely one of the films that is the predecessor of X.
Yeah,
like I don't think there's much sex in Halloween, the original. It was still pretty innocent.
Did X have the guy saying, Oh, don't you go, the warning guy. That's something I forgot about was in Friday the 13th, was the guy giving the warnings.
Yeah.
Who ends up getting killed himself, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But it's just kind of like like there's no warnings, but they always have that kind of scene where usually they're going into a store, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They go into the store,
It's a rest stop.
stick out like a sore thumb.
You need to get some gas, get some directions.
Yeah. This movie has that scene for sure. The gas stop, House of a Thousand Corpses, which is also a part of a trilogy.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie also made this to be, kind of one of those old school era films. Very Texas Chainsaw Massacre-y.
Yeah.
Almost more, that would be derivative. Very derivative. It's almost to the T, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. With the family, they got the old guy that just doesn't leave the table, and they have Tiny, who's like this big ogre looking guy, and but Devil's Rejects was my favorite out of the three, but Host of the Thousand Corpses was really good. I think it was Rob Zombie's
What was the third one called again?
Three from Hell.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that one. I don't know if
It wasn't incredibly good. Like, unfortunately, Sid Haig was really sick during it, so he's not in it very often.
Right.
They do have a great actor that kind of takes the role of the third character, but it's nothing compared to its two predecessors for sure.
Yeah, I remember watching this. Watched it by myself on my computer, like one afternoon.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about watching it. Worried I was gonna be a little bit scared.
Yeah.
It was all right. It was pretty funny actually.
Yeah.
As I recall.
Yeah, Dr. Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some cool.
I haven't seen it
twists
so
and turns
damn
along
long
the way.
though.
Yeah.
I wish I had more to say about it. I do remember it.
Yeah.
I feel like it had a similar kind of going into the store thing going on in the beginning and stuff.
And great characters.
Yeah.
Better characters than Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like Otis Driftwood, Captain Spaulding.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Baby. Is it just Baby or Baby Doll or Baby Girl or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Or Butterfly or something. But played by Sherry Moon Zombie.
Oh yeah. Was that before they got married?
No, she was a zombie here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where, you ever see Salem? Lords of Salem? That was a little out there for me.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's like witches spitting in babies' faces and stuff like that.
Right on.
Yeah. It's cringy. Planet Terror.
Now that
Robert Rodriguez.
No, I really loved that Grindhouse double feature.
Hobo with a Shotgun
Yeah,
was in this.
I know. It
was a trailer.
like one of those 1 degrees of bacon away from it. But this was the first one, and it was cameo filled like crazy.
Yeah.
And definitely shares some strengths with X.
Yeah. Definitely had some star power. Definitely had some original concepts. Done with CGI. Like I'm almost positive. Maybe it is practical. I'm trying to think back.
I don't know.
Because there's like Bruce Willis's fucking face is bubbling and stuff like that, but he has to
there
breathe
was a
in
lot
stuff
of that.
And the person's tongue. It's like I'm thick. Yeah, maybe it was a lot of practical.
Yeah. Probably like the way it was made probably lends itself to being more practical.
Yeah, exactly. It's an homage.
Do you have Death Proof as well?
I have Death Proof, yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't come together. Or did they when you bought it?
No, you definitely could buy them together, but I have them separate.
Yeah.
I see Death Proof right now.
How long is Planet Terror? Is it just over an hour? It's not like a full-length movie, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely like an hour and a half, 90 minutes for sure.
Okay.
I'd say.
I thought it was a little bit shorter, but...
It could be, but...
Is Death Proof about the same, like
yeah.
an hour and a half?
Yeah. Death Proof was fun. I definitely put Planet Terror over Death Proof.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely, like, two different animals for
yeah.
sure.
I always kind of, I love the first half of Death Proof. I always found the second half goes kind of slow.
Yeah.
The Ring. I remember seeing this in the theaters, and it was like my favorite film for a while. Like, I fucking loved it. And, one of the actors is actually in X. The love interest of Naomi.
Oh,
get that
the
right
dude, the producer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Is in that. That was probably the first film I saw him in was The Ring. But I remember really being affected by The Ring, thinking that was like really cutting edge compared to all the old school horror films I was watching.
I saw The Ring the second week it was out. So the first weekend, people that saw it, one of them said to me about the scene with the horse. And my imagination just went wild. So when I saw the movie, it was just like no sweat at all compared to the devastation I was imagining.
Yeah.
So that helped me get through it.
Yeah, it's almost like a parallel to Titanic, watching that guy jump off.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
They catch their legs. So that's what happens with the horse, catches his legs.
Yeah, yeah.
And does a little somersault or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then gets chopped up by the propeller underneath.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny, the best scary movie since The Sixth Sense, because I was going to bring up seeing The Sixth Sense in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of those movies where everyone walked out of the theater and it's silence because everyone's still like
Affected.
internalizing
Everyone's
what the fuck they just watched.
Everyone be scared.
Yeah. And I remember just seeing The Ring and being like, "Whoa, that was an excellent film."
Yeah, everyone was afraid to watch VHSs or take telephone calls.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly.
Big thing, calling people 7 days.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna kind of spoil it, but like it ends up, they're in that place at the end.
Yeah.
It's like where that
Brian
girl was
Cox,
drowned or something like that. Did you find it had a good ending and everything like that? Was there ever a Ring 2? There was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that, it's the kid. Naomi comes back to her son. It's like, don't worry, everything's okay. I let Samara out, she's fine. And the kid's like, what? You let her out?
Oh.
You're supposed to kill her.
Yeah.
She's evil. And then she goes and kills the producer from X.
Oh, yeah.
At the end. And that's how it ends, is her going and finding his body and screaming. Ring 2, obviously not as good as...
I must have saw Ring 2. It was like a year or two after, wasn't it?
Actually, I watched Ring 2 first Japanese.
Oh, yeah, because this...
Ring U. Ring U was made, and then The Ring was adapted into English. And then they had a Ring 2. But I actually watched Ring 2 in Japanese.
Yeah. I feel like I watched like The Grudge, maybe. I watched the Japanese version of that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like not that they were lumped into the same category exactly, but there was like that.
Well, The Grudge came out shortly after. I think it kind of rode the coattails of The Ring. I didn't find The Grudge was as good.
No.
But definitely had some cool effects and stuff like that when like CGI was first coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
And Urban Legends. It's a cult classic.
Yeah,
Some
man,
people haven't seen it, but
I remember maybe watching it on a weekend, but it could have been one of those ones that eluded me.
Yeah.
I gotta double check it out.
I suggest it. I recommend it to everyone to check it out. Jared Leto, Joshua Jackson, Tara Reid, buddy from Smallville. I don't know his name. There's a couple other great actors in it. It's a angsty college film, but still innocent. It's probably a PG-13 or it doesn't have any nudity in it or anything like that. But
it was just when things were getting
very interesting, very original. And I remember this is another movie that I probably watched this more than The Ring. This was a movie that I would watch every 6 months or something because I really enjoyed it so much.
I was certain movies would do that. I remember watching Joyride a couple of times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Jeepers Creepers a few times.
Oh. Yeah, which ones? What's another good one? Some sounds coming over from Studio A. It sounds like probably gonna have to wrap this up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Good timing though. We got through all of X. We got through all our fast picks up there.
Yeah.
We got through our first season.
Yeah.
10 episodes. Can't wait to bring you more.
Is this the scariest movie we watched? Maybe I Saw the Devil.
I Saw the Devil, I'd say.
Yeah.
It was more gruesome.
Yeah.
There was a lot more. There was some comedy involved. There was some drama involved in this. I Saw the Devil definitely was the goriest anyways.
Mm-hmm. But this was it. A1. Enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, recommend.
Very fresh, if I was to tomato it.
Yeah. And can't wait to see Pearl. Can't wait to see xXxtra. And can't wait to bring you some more episodes. Thanks again to Phyllis.
Yeah.
Buy a Phyllis t-shirt.
And enter the raffle to win your chance to win a copy of Matrix 2.
Oh yeah, we still haven't had any bites there.
Yeah.
We're practically giving it away to the next person that calls.
Yeah.
555.
Yeah.
Filk.
Excellent.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
It's so could talk about this on the episode, but I can't. So remind me, we're gonna edit this out. So, but it's so.
Hold on, we're still editing
on
it.
the nose.
Who would die?